Don't go into the forest. At the cottage, part 1. On Thursday afternoon, our family arrived at the cottage. My friend Leon and Marco awaited us. It's hot, said Leon. I'm thirsty, complained Marcos. Hold on, I said, and we went to find my mother. Can we go to the store and buy ice cream? Sure, said my mother. Spice the ketchup tea, please. We lost hot dog on the bonfire tonight. She gave me some money. Be home in time for dinner, and don't go into the forest. When we got to the store, we bought ice cream and patcha. Then we walked to the beach. Some big kids were playing ball. Let's watch, said Marcos. We can stay for a whole game, I told him. We can have to buy dinner. Can't we cut through the forest? Asked Marcos. No, my mom thinks something bad could happen. I said. Like what? Leon asked. The little people might get us, I said. Who are they? Marco asked. I'll tell you a story, I said. Little people, my story. Please take these apples to the market, Janice and the mother said. Your brother can go with you. I don't want to, said Tate. You must help your sister, Mother told him. But don't go into the forest. Remember the little people were creatures who took care of the forest. If the children trapped in the woods, they would catch them and chew their fingernails. Jenna carried the basket and Tate walked behind her. Soon they came to the forest. Tate jumped from the road and hid behind the trees. Get back on the road. Remember the little people, said Jenna. Make me. Tate called back. Come now, or I'm leaving without you. Jenna whirred. Good, Tate said. I didn't want to come anyway. The little people will get you, Jenna said. Huh? Tate laughed. Why couldn't I have sister instead? Jenna sighed. I'll pick up on the way back, I told herself. Then she left. After Jenna was gone, Tate got bored. He sat on the ground and closed his eyes. Now, we happened, Tiny Boy's jacket. Tate opened his eyes and saw the creature leaning over him. He tried to get up and run, but he couldn't move. He tried to scream, but there was no sound. By the time Jenna was sold the apples, her anger was gone. I hope Tate is waiting by the road, she thought. But when Jenna reached the forest, she didn't see him. Tate, she said, let's go. There was no Lively. Jenna started to panic. It's the little people, Tate, she called. As she screeched the forest, she came to the thick bush. Something was sticking out. The shoe! Tate? Jenna whispered. She crawled into the bush. Tate was tied and hid under the pile of branches. The little people must be saving him for the dinner. They will be back later to try nails. Jenna unto Tate and helped him to the road. They ran all the way home. When they were safe, Jenna said, next time, do as you're told. Tate said he would, and he did. Cool, said Marcus. Do you think that story's true? Maybe, I said. There are lots of spooky things in the wood, said Leanne. Have you heard about Pot Woman? No, we replied. Tell us. Pot Woman, Leanne's story. Gil living with his grandfather near the forest. You can play in the yard. His grandfather told him, but don't go into the forest. A year ago, your parents ran in there and they never came back. At first, Gil did as he was told, but as he grew older, he began to wonder, why can't I go into the wood? What happened to my parents? Finally, Gil went to the forest. That was bad. I follow it, he thought, and see where it goes. He didn't notice it. The idea was getting late. Soon it was too dark to see the path. I will never find my way back now, Gil thought. Tomorrow, when it's light, I'll find my way home. Gil tried to sleep, but he heard strange sounds from the ground beneath him. He dug into the dirt and found the skull. It was still talking. Listen, said the skull. The woman lives in the forest. She walked among the trees carrying a big pot. She pointed the big pot at any people she sees in it, stuck them in. Then the woman eats them. She ate everyone who come here. She ate me. Well, she will eat you too. What can I do? Asked Gil. Hide, or the pot woman will find you, the skull said. All the night, Gil dug his ground with his hands. Then the hole was deep enough. He buried himself, leaving just one eye and his nose uncovered. Early the next morning, Gil spied the woman with the big power walking toward him. She was pointing the pot left and right. She passed right over Gil and disappeared behind the trees. Gil dug himself out, and he ran another way. He didn't stop until he was out of the forest and back his grandfather's house. You've been in the forest, haven't you? Asked his grandfather. You're lucky to be alive. You must never go there again. Gil promised he wouldn't, and he never did. I bet the pot woman got his parents, said Marcus. I looked at my watch. We should go, I told them. Wait, it's turn to tell a story. Oh, it's my turn to tell a story, Marcus said. This one about babblings. Babblings, Marcus' story. Cheeto was walking alone. He stopped at inn for dinner. Do you need room? Innkeeper asked. No, I have to keep going, Cheeto said. My friend is getting me, but the road goes through the wood, said the owner. Take the aptic. Don't go into the forest. Why not? Cheeto asked. There are strange people living there. Replied the man. They had eyes like cats. They are called furflings. The owner leaned closer. At night, babbling turned to head with wings, and their eyes glow. They make loud cries, but as they got closer, they began to quiet. When they were very near, the owner whispered, all you hear is flapping of the wings. Then they're a cat. Nonsense, said Cheeto. That's a silly story told to scare children. I'll be on my way. It was warm still night. Tall trees stood like giant beasts in the road. After a while, Cheeto came up in a few houses. A light were on, but everything was quiet. He went to one window and looked in. Nobody was there, but water was boiling on the stove. Strange, he thought. Then he heard crying. He looked around. No one was there. The crying stopped. Then he heard another sound. Flee, flap, flee, flap, flee, flap. It sounded like wings. The air around him moved as if a giant fan was flowing. Between the trees, glowing cat eyes danced up and down. Cheeto began to run. The eyes were around him. Cheeto reached and opened the field. He saw his friend farmhouse. Someone came out of a house. Then everything went back. When Cheeto awoke, he was in the bed. His friends sat beside. Where are they? Cheeto cried. Who? Asked his friend. The Boblings. They were after me. You must have to hit your head when you fell, said his friends. His eyes shining narrow. You're amazing things. Cheeto friend left the room. Why doesn't he believe me? Cheeto wondered. Something was different about his friend. Something about eyes. There was a cry from outside the room. The door burst open and a cold wind rushed in. The room filled without sound. Flee, flap, flee, flap. At the cottage, part 2. Woo, woo. Marco flapped his arm. I'm coming to get you. I'm Flutterplan. Stop that! What time is it? I asked. It's 6:30, replied Leanne. We better take the shortcut through the forest, said Marcus. But Mom said to not go there, I replied. She also said not to be late for dinner, added Leanne. We all stepped into the forest and walked for a long time, but something was wrong. It was getting dark, and we were still walking some shortcut, said Marcos. Do you really know the way? Yes, I said, but maybe I was wrong. Look, said Leanne. I think we passed this tree before. We're walking in circles. I have to think, I said. I sat on the ground. When I looked up, a woman was coming our way. She was carrying a big pot. Pot woman, I screamed, and started running. Leanne and Marcos were close behind. There was buzzing in my ear. I tipped and turned. My skirt was wet. I covered it with blood. Help! I screamed. What's happening? Leanne asked. I'm bleeding, I said. Marco whisked his finger on my shirt and licked it. Ketchup, he said. You popped the lid when you fell. I felt much better. We stepped out of the forest, not far from where it starts. A car was coming down the road. It stopped. It was my mom. Boys, where are you? She asked. I was very sick. We found the store. They told us you left horoscope. You got lost in the forest, I told her. You were right. We should not have gone in. Well, you're safe now, she said. She drove us back to the cottage. The bonfire was burning, and our neighbors there were too. Go and have something to eat. Oh, go and have something to eat, said my mother. I looked at picnic table. I heard some. A big paw was sitting there. What's that? I asked. We're having a Paco dinner, said my mom. Mr. Brown brought the chill. Don't you want some? I'll just have a hot dog. I said, let's eat inside, said Leanne. Mom sighed as we left. Hey, Marco, said Marco. Did your eye kind of strange? Watching for the next channel. Goodbye.